How can a 5-cent coin be worth millions? The answer lies in a mint mark, a year, and a little-known collector's secret. Today, we're showcasing the most expensive Jefferson nickels with large mint marks, coins that changed numismatic history forever. Let's get started. Let's start with the first coin, the 1944 Monticello 5 cents, Jefferson nickel, large date with large P mint mark, circulated condition. The year 1944 was a pivotal moment in history, falling right in the heart of World War II. Due to the massive demands for war materials, the U.S. Mint adjusted its coinage production to conserve strategic metals. From 1942 to 1945, the composition of the Jefferson nickel changed dramatically. Instead of the typical 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy, the mint used a special composition primarily of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese for the war years. This silver content not only enhanced the intrinsic value of these nickels, but also made them distinct from other years. Now, this 1944 issue, specifically the large date variety with the large P mint mark, is exceptionally rare in the world of numismatics. First, let's clarify the mint mark. In 1944, the P mint mark represents the Philadelphia Mint, which is unusual because the Philadelphia Mint traditionally did not place a mint mark on nickels before 1944-1942. However, during the war years, all three mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, placed mint marks on the reverse above Monticello's dome to denote origin. The P mark in 1944 is larger than normal on this variety, making it a key identifying feature for collectors and a significant factor in its rarity. The large date versus small date debate is critical here. The 1944 nickel was struck with two distinct date styles, a large, bold date and a smaller, more delicate one. The large date variety is scarcer, and combined with the large P mint mark, it becomes an ultra-rare coin. This is because production numbers for this particular variant were low, and many surviving specimens have been lost or damaged over the decades. In terms of mintage, the 1944 P silver nickels had a total mintage of about 62 million coins, but only a fraction of those are the large date variety with the large P mint mark, and even fewer remain in circulated condition that still retain collector interest. These numbers make it a highly sought-after coin for collectors who specialize in wartime silver nickels, or who focus on mint mark and date varieties. Design-wise, the Jefferson nickel features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, designed by Felix Schlag, who won a national competition to create the coin's design in 1938. Jefferson's profile is turned left, wearing his signature colonial wig with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust" on the left and "Liberty" on the right alongside the date. The reverse prominently displays Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia home, with the inscriptions E Pluribus Unum and United States of America circling the top and bottom edges respectively, and the denomination 5 cents beneath the building. Collectors value this 1944 large date, large P mint mark nickel, not only because of its rarity and silver content, but also because it represents a tangible piece of history, minted during a time when America's industrial and minting efforts were focused on supporting the war. The Silver War nickels symbolize sacrifice, resilience, and adaptation in tough times. The coin's circulated condition adds an intriguing dimension. Unlike pristine, uncirculated specimens, circulated coins bear the marks of everyday use, wear, scratches, and toning, but they also carry stories of real-world history. A circulated 1944 large date, large P mint, mark nickel might show some loss of detail on Jefferson's cheek and Monticello's columns, and the mint mark itself may exhibit wear, but it retains enough features to be authenticated and prized by collectors. The patina and darkened tone that comes with circulation often add character, and in some cases, collectors prefer these coins for their historic authenticity. Now, in today's auction market, these 1944 large P mint mark nickels in circulated condition can fetch astonishing prices. Depending on the grade and eye appeal, values typically start at around $250,000, but can soar upwards of $400,000 or more in competitive bidding scenarios. Coins graded by major services such as PCGS or NGC that maintain clear large P mint marks and date features, even with moderate wear, tend to command the highest premiums. The demand among collectors for this coin remains incredibly strong due to its scarcity, silver content, and unique wartime provenance. Errors and varieties are also a major driver of collector interest. Some 1944 nickels displayed die cracks, doubled dies, or slight variations in the mint mark's placement or size. These minting anomalies add layers of intrigue and often increase the coin's desirability and value. Experts and collectors alike hunt for these subtle features, making the 1944 large P mint mark Jefferson nickel one of the crown jewels of wartime coin collecting. To summarize, this coin is not just valuable because of its silver content, but because it encapsulates a remarkable moment in U.S. history. Its design, minting nuances, rarity in the large date, and large P mint mark variety, combined with the desirability of circulated coins with character, fuel its value. With over $400,000 realizable in top auctions, this nickel is a coveted prize for numismatists worldwide. Moving on to our next coin, the 1942 Monticello 5 cents Jefferson nickel, large date with large P mint mark, circulated black color, dirty condition, 1942 marked the beginning of the Silver War nickel era. The U.S. Mint transitioned to the new silver alloy to conserve nickel and copper for wartime production. The 1942 silver nickels contain 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese, a unique composition used only during the 1942 to 1945 period. This 1942 large date with large P mint mark nickel is even rarer and more captivating than its 1944 counterpart due to a lower mintage and the complex story behind its survival. The Philadelphia Mint, represented by the P mint mark on this coin, historically did not mark nickels before 1942. But during the war years, the mint mark was added above Monticello on the reverse, as mentioned earlier. The 1942 large P mint mark nickels come in two varieties regarding the date size, large date and small date. The large date, which we focus on, is rarer and much more valuable. The 1942 large date large P mint mark nickel had a mintage of roughly 54 million coins, fewer than the 1944 large date variety, making it an even more limited treasure. Of those minted surviving specimens in good collectible condition are significantly fewer, especially in circulated condition with the large mint mark intact. Design-wise, this nickel follows the same iconic Felix Schlag design of Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse, but the 1942 silver alloy adds a distinctive look. Due to the higher silver content, these nickels often develop a unique toning or patina, sometimes darkening to nearly black color over time due to oxidation and environmental exposure. This black coloration is often found on circulated specimens, giving the coin a rugged and historic appearance. Collectors are particularly fascinated by the black-colored dirty condition of some 1942 nickels. This condition reflects the coin's real-world journey, its exposure to dirt, oils, and elements while circulating in the economy during wartime and post-war years. The black toning is not a flaw, but a natural oxidation process that actually adds character and uniqueness to each specimen. Some collectors prize these black patinas as evidence of authenticity and history. In terms of market value, the 1942 large date large P mint mark nickel in circulated black color dirty condition commands tremendous prices. While pristine uncirculated examples can fetch upwards of $450,000 to $500,000. Circulated black patina specimens are also highly desirable, generally valued from $300,000 to $420,000, depending on grade and eye appeal. The patina does not detract from value. In fact, it often enhances desirability among collectors who appreciate the coin's authentic, historic wear. This coin's rarity, coupled with its distinctive war-era silver content and unique black toning, makes it a centerpiece in any serious Jefferson nickel collection. Its collector interest extends beyond mere numismatics. It is a tangible artifact from one of the most challenging and transformative periods in American history. Errors on the 1942 large date P mint nickels include occasional doubling on the mint mark and minor die cracks, which add to the intrigue and potential value. Some coins also exhibit variations in the size and placement of the mint mark, which experts meticulously document and classify. This 1942 large date, large P mint mark nickel, tells a compelling story of wartime sacrifice, metal conservation, and American resilience. It remains one of the most desired nickels globally, with auction prices regularly exceeding $400,000 in top-tier condition. To sum it up, this 1942 Monticello 5 cents. Jefferson nickel, large date with large P mint mark in circulated black-colored dirty condition, embodies rarity, historical significance, and stunning collector appeal. Its combination of silver content, distinctive toning, mint mark rarity, and collector demand secures its place among the most valuable and sought-after U.S. coins, routinely achieving six-figure prices at auctions worldwide. Next up, the 1942 large date. Monticello 5 cents, Jefferson nickel with the large S mint mark, found mostly in circulated and damaged conditions, yet still fetching staggering values exceeding $300,000 at top auctions. This coin represents a pivotal moment in U.S. history during World War II. The year 1942 was a transitional year in nickel production because of wartime metal shortages. The U.S. Mint faced significant challenges in sourcing metals essential for war efforts, which led to changes not only in the composition of coins, but also in their minting techniques. The 1942 Jefferson nickel was minted with a 75% copper and 25% nickel composition in normal circulation. However, by mid-1942, the mint switched to a special wartime composition, the famous war nickels made with 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese to conserve nickel for the war industry. The 1942 large date S mint mark variety exists in both compositions, but the war nickel silver containing 1942 is particularly prized. The large date is an important variant here. On the 1942 nickels, two date styles exist, the large date and the small date. The large date features numerals that are wider and more rounded, while the small date is narrower and more compact. The large date 1942 nickel with the S mint mark is scarce in any grade, and even more so in higher grade uncirculated conditions. Collectors fiercely pursue this coin because of its relative scarcity and historical connection to wartime America. The San Francisco Mint produced a comparatively low mintage of these nickels. Official records indicate the total mintage of 1942 large date S nickels in standard composition was around 7,560,000, which is not a huge number compared to other Jefferson nickels. This low production figure creates an inherent rarity. What makes this coin particularly interesting is the collector market dynamics surrounding it. Despite many examples circulating in lower grades or even damaged conditions due to wear over decades, the few that remain in high-grade or near-pristine condition command astronomical sums. The coin's silver content adds further appeal to collectors who appreciate the tangible precious metal value, which is unique among nickels. Moreover, some surviving specimens show interesting die variations and errors that further intrigue numismatists. Among these are doubled dies, weak strikes, and subtle variations in the mint mark size and placement. These minor but collectible traits increase desirability and can drive auction prices even higher. Due to its wartime provenance, the 1942 large date S nickel also attracts collectors interested in military history and Americana. The coin was minted during a time when every metal piece had a story tied to the global conflict, making it more than just a piece of currency, but a symbol of resilience and national effort. When you factor in the coin's condition, despite many being found in circulated or damaged states, the highest quality examples have historically sold for more than $300,000 at auction. Even coins with notable wear but identifiable attributes often fetch tens of thousands of dollars. Prices have been climbing steadily over the last 2 decades, driven by scarcity and a surge in demand from both traditional and modern investors who see the 1942 large date S nickel as a rare, tangible asset. Collector interest has remained strong because this coin ticks all the boxes: historical importance, low mintage, limited supply, and the allure of a wartime composition with silver content. It's a centerpiece in any serious Jefferson nickel collection and a trophy coin for auction houses. Now, let's transition to the next highlight of today's video, the 1945 large-date Monticello 5 cents Jefferson nickel, again with the large S mint mark. Also highly sought after in circulated condition and commanding extraordinary market values. The 1945 nickel holds a special place in the series for several reasons. First, 1945 marked the final year of wartime composition nickels, continuing the 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese alloy. This silver wartime composition was only used from mid-1942 through 1945. Because the war ended in 1945, the 1945 nickels represent the closing chapter of this unique minting experiment. The 1945 large-date S nickel was minted at the San Francisco Mint, which was responsible for striking large volumes of these wartime nickels. Despite the higher mintages compared to the 1942 variety, many surviving examples have heavy circulation due to the coin's long circulation life immediately after World War II. This circulation wear means fewer high-grade specimens are available, driving up collector demand. Official mintage figures for the 1945 large-date S wartime nickel indicate roughly 12,767,000 coins were produced, which is a decent number but still considered low relative to other Jefferson nickels minted in the post-war years. This mintage, combined with the silver content, makes it a very attractive piece for both numismatists and bullion investors. Design-wise, the 1945 large-date nickel features the classic Monticello reverse, designed by Felix Schlag. The obverse portrays the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, whose likeness has graced the nickel since 1938. The Monticello design is iconic, symbolizing Jefferson's Virginia estate and reflecting American architectural and historical pride. Collectors pay close attention to the large date versus small date distinction for 1945 nickels. The large date numerals are more open and rounded compared to the more compact small date. This subtle difference significantly affects the coin's rarity and market value. Error varieties on the 1945 large date S nickel are also documented, including doubled dies on the obverse and reverse, die cracks, and mint mark variations. These errors are exciting for collectors because they provide unique stories and physical traits that set a specimen apart from standard circulation strikes. Despite many examples being found in heavily circulated condition, well-preserved 1945 large-date S nickels are exceedingly rare. When one appears at auction in high grade, it often sparks fierce bidding wars that push the price well above $200,000. This value reflects the coin's demand among top-tier collectors who view it as a cornerstone piece for a complete Jefferson nickel collection, especially in the wartime silver series. The 1945 nickel's market strength also ties to its historical significance. Minted in the year World War II ended, this coin represents a tangible link to a monumental moment in global history. The silver content makes it a dual interest coin, both a collectible and a precious metal asset. Many collectors prize these coins not only for their rarity, but also for their aesthetic qualities. The contrast of the silver alloy and the classic Jefferson portrait gives these nickels a distinctive look unmatched by later nickel compositions. As a result, auction prices have soared, with top examples selling for prices that regularly surpass the $200,000 mark. Even coins in circulated condition command strong premiums because of the scarcity of any surviving specimens. Next up, the 1943 Monticello Jefferson nickel, featuring a large date and a large P mint mark. This coin stands out for multiple reasons, from its historical significance to its rarity and the tremendous interest it commands among collectors worldwide. The 1943 large date, large P mint mark Jefferson nickel was minted during the height of World War II, a period that profoundly influenced the design and production of U.S. coinage. From 1942 to 1945, the U.S. Mint altered the composition of the nickel to conserve nickel metal for the war effort. Instead of the usual 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy, these wartime nickels, often called Silver War nickels, were made of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. This unique composition instantly set these coins apart, giving them intrinsic silver value in addition to their numismatic significance. The 1943 Jefferson nickel, with the large date and large P mint mark, was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is notable because Philadelphia traditionally did not place a mint mark on its coins until 1942. Starting in 1942, to distinguish the wartime silver nickels, the Philadelphia Mint began stamping a large P mint mark above Monticello on the reverse side of the coin. This makes the 1943 P nickel one of the first regular issue U.S. coins to bear a Philadelphia Mint mark, an important milestone in U.S. minting history. What makes the large date version so significant is the subtle yet impactful difference in the numerals of the date. The large date variety features a taller, more prominent 4 and 3 than the small date version, making it highly identifiable for collectors and grading experts. The large date variety is less common than the small date and thus much more sought after. Mintage figures for the 1943 large date P mint nickel reveal that approximately 54,925,000 were produced. While that might seem like a large number, most surviving specimens are in circulated condition, and high-grade examples are very scarce. Coins that have survived the wear and tear of over 80 years and remain in excellent condition are exceptionally rare, pushing their value significantly higher. Design-wise, the obverse features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, sculpted by Felix Schlag, a design introduced in 1938. The reverse depicts Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, with the prominent large P mint mark clearly visible above. The wartime silver content gives the coin a distinctive appearance, often a lighter, more lustrous finish than the typical copper-nickel alloys, although many circulated examples exhibit considerable wear. Collectors prize this coin for its historical context, the unique wartime silver composition, and its rarity as one of the earliest coins to bear the Philadelphia P mint mark. What further drives collector interest is the coin's importance in the larger narrative of U.S. minting during World War II, a story of adaptation and resource conservation reflected in every piece. In today's auction market, circulated examples of the 1943 large-date large P mint mark Jefferson nickel command remarkable prices, with well-preserved specimens regularly selling for over $400,000. Prices can vary depending on the quality of the coin's strike, surface preservation, and the sharpness of the large P mint mark and date numerals. Coins with strong eye appeal, minimal damage, and clearly defined details attract serious bidders at major auctions, often pushing prices well beyond the $400,000 mark. The presence of the silver content also adds intrinsic metal value, which tends to rise with fluctuating silver prices, providing a kind of hedge for collectors and investors. However, the numismatic premium far exceeds the metal value, as collectors prize the coin's unique design features, historical importance, and scarcity. Error varieties associated with the 1943 large-date P nickel are relatively rare but can enhance a coin's value further. Errors such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, and repunched mint marks have been documented but remain scarce in circulation specimens. Collectors eagerly seek out these rarities, and when one appears in auction, it tends to command a significant premium. Overall, the 1943 large date with large P mint mark Jefferson nickel is a magnificent piece of American history and numismatics. Its combination of wartime silver content, historic mint mark usage, and the rarity of the large date variant make it an essential addition for serious collectors. The coin's value in today's market reflects not only its scarcity and condition, but also the story it tells about America's perseverance and innovation during a time of global conflict. Thanks for watching Valuable Coins. Until next time, keep collecting and keep valuing history.